I was a freshman in high school. I went to my prom. After we were done with prom, I happened to see the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. I walked up to them. I was in my tux, so they were like, "What are you, getting married?" and kind of being jerks. So I went into my car. I was kind of mad about it. I was really a big Bret Hart fan and whatnot. So the limo driver says to me, "Why don't you go ask him if he wants a ride?" And I was like, "Yeah, he's being a jerk. He doesn't want a ride." But he talked me into it. I ended up giving them a ride in our limo. We drove them to a bar. They were very nice the whole time. They were only mad because they had lost the belts to Demolition that night. So we took pictures in the back of the limo, and I dropped them off. By the way, my prom date had no idea who they were. She was not a wrestling fan. So we dropped them off at this bar, and they sent me a bottle of wine. So Bret Hart gave a 15-year-old kid a bottle of wine.
This call is so loaded with it's a 1 minute call, and it's so loaded with so many goodies. I can't even take it. I'd ask, in what world does this happen? But by putting the time frame together, and I feel the voice on this man, we could sum it up to the 80s. This was the 80s, where you just happen to be going to prom and run into Bret Hart in a tuxedo who thinks you're an adult, and he's mad because he just lost the WWF Tag Team Championships to Demolition, and then sends you a bottle of wine, which even if Bret Hart knew he was 15, I still feel in the 80s would have been more than fine with it. It's just what they did back then. It was acceptable. I'm so glad at the end of the night you still were able to be a fan of Bret Hart. Sometimes we hear about these wrestling fan interactions that really sour us on the wrestler, and that could have happened. But thanks to a limo driver who was there to drive you around for your prom, talking you into letting Bret Hart hitch a ride with you to a bar, you were able to have a fun experience and still to this day be a fan of Bret the Hitman Hart. Hey, thanks for watching. That call was part of a whole podcast called Wrestling Anonymous. Listen to the whole thing weekly. Wherever you listen to your podcast, go subscribe. And while you're at it, subscribe right here on YouTube to Colt Cabana's channel. Thank you.